What's up, boys? It's Nick from Team Table 501 here. I am the king of the scrubs, and today I am back with round 3 of the Crush Card Cup. So I am playing Salamangreat in this tournament. My opponent in this round is playing Rockets / Dragon Link. It's more of a pure Rocket deck, but it has Dragon Link elements to it. So without further ado, let's just get into it. We're going to win RPS here, which is super critical in this matchup. Obviously, against any combo deck, you want to go first to set up your own board so that your opponent has to play through your interruptions. Especially with Dragon Link, because they can produce some of these massive boards with multiple pieces of negation on one card. So being able to go first and set up here. So my opening hand is like fine. Buffalo plus mining is a good open. I have an extender and will. I have a hand trap. And I have this Sanctuary, which is not good to open, but because of mining, you can pitch it. And then you can add something like Falco, Buffalo into Falco, and then Falco can reset the Sanctuary. But I'm going to take a different line of play here. So I'm going to activate mining, discard the Sanctuary, get the Gazelle, and I'm just going to do the standard one-card Gazelle play here. Normal summon Gazelle, send Jack Jaguar, Balinks, use Will to bring back the Jack, and then I Sunlight Wolf back, or I Jack Jaguar, put the Balinks back, get the Gazelle back, and then I reincarnate the Wolf using a Balinks and a Wolf. My opponent here activates Boot Sector Launch, which has an effect where if your opponent has more monsters than you... Oh, that's right. He used the first effect to summon 2 monsters from the hand in defense. So he brought out Magna Rocket and Auto Rocket, and then he used Quick Launch to bring out Ansta Rocket. That's a lot of monsters. And my opponent goes into Dilalingerous Dragon. And I DD Crow the Magna Rocket out of the graveyard with the Reborn. My thinking is that my opponent's either trying to get into a massive Apollousa, or they're trying to get to Guard Dragon plays. And if I let them set up a Guard Dragon board, I'm not going to win the game because of how simplified the board state is. You know, my opponent knows I only have 1 critical card left, and that's Gazelle. So if they get to something, if they get to end on like Herratic Seal plus Borreload Savage plus some other nonsense, they can just Herratic Seal as my normal summon, and then I just lose the game. So I Crow, and my opponent makes a triple burst, which I thought was weird. I thought they would go for like Romulus to go get Ravine, but you know, at this point I'm thinking, okay, I'm in very solid shape. I have the ability to just kill my opponent next turn with Gazelle. So they attack into the Sunlight Wolf. I banish the Balinks, and this turn I just go off. I go Heat Leo, I go normal summon Flame Buffalo. And then I link Sunlight Wolf and Buffalo into Heat Leo. And the reason I'm doing this is because I have the Sanctuary back from last turn, so I'm going to link off Heat Leo into Heat Leo. And I'm going to use Heat Leo's second effect to change Triple Burst Dragon's attack points to 100 because of the DD Crow in my graveyard. So at this point, I'm just trying to push as much damage as I can here. I go Update Jammer into this, and that's 24, 28, and 28, and that is game 1 to me. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like on turn 1 with this deck, you're just trying to set up a board where your opponent has to get through your disruptions. Oh, that's right. This should have been lethal, but it wasn't because I forgot to activate Update Jammer's ability in the graveyard to let Transcode attack twice. I had lethal in my head and I had lethal on the board. I just forgot to activate an effect, which could have cost me here because my opponent is playing Super Polymerization in their deck. So, but they can't really link with my board. I mean, they can make a Violet Chimera here and it'd be big, but it wouldn't be lethal. My set card is what? Impermanence? Yeah. They fuse 2 of their monsters into Starving Venom. It's going to gain the attack of the transcode on my field, so it goes to 56, and it's going to attack over me. But at this point, the game state's so simplified. I just use Will, I bring back a Sunlight Wolf, I link off into Borreload, and then I win the game, which I should have done last turn. So luckily did not get punished there, but that was a critical mistake. It was just something I forgot because in my head my opponent was already dead. And as you can see, my hand for game 2 is pretty polarizing. I have a Spinny, which is a 1-card Sunlight Wolf, and I have 4 defensive cards. All 3 of these cards are very, very good in this matchup. So I take a very interesting line in this game because normally when you open multiple hand traps, your instinct is, okay, I'm going to hand trap my opponent at multiple points in the turn to fizzle their combo. But Nibiru is interesting because Nibiru is one of the few hand traps where if you have it, you want your opponent to keep playing. So let's see how far my opponent goes here. They normal summon Magna Rocket. They make Striker Dragon. They had Boot Sector Launch. And again, I'm letting all of this go through because I'm going to Nibiru them the first chance I get. So they go Silver Rocket. They go Pisty. They go Elpie. And at this point, I should have Nibiru'd. But instead, I decided to Ghost Ogre for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I should have just dropped the Nibiru on the activation of Elpie's, because then it would have cleared all of this. Maybe it was because I couldn't. No, I can out the token. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why I didn't just Nibiru here. But, I mean, live and learn, I suppose. Attack into spheres. I go to Ash the spheres. They call by the Grave Me. They summon a Rocket Tracer. So I just set my Roar and pass turn. And now my opponent's popping off with Tracer, summoning out monsters. Now, of course, they're locked into Dark Monsters after you use Tracer's ability. So they just make Borreload Savage and attack for 3,000. So at this point in the game, I'm just feeling very good. I'm going to go as deep in as I can here. I activate Will. They go Borreload Savage. I chain Roar because I do control a Link monster in Banlinks. So then I use Will's effect to bring out the Falco. I use Spinny's effect to bring itself out of the graveyard. And at this point, I'm just going for transcode into update. This time I do remember to use update's effect, so this gets 2 attacks. Falco, when it goes to the graveyard, sets Roar to my side of the field. So again, as you can see, I'm in a very, very good position in this game. I don't have a live Roar, but I do have a Nibiru. So if my opponent goes too far into combo extending, I just get to Nibiru the board away. And considering that they're only on 1 card, then they're just dead. And as you see, I just draw, and the game is over. My opponent had Rocket Recharger and Super Polymerization. So I can't see their extra deck, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a very clean 2-0. I don't really want to take away anything from my opponent's deck. Their deck is really cool. I think it's just leaning too heavily into the Rocket Engine. I think it should be doing more just pure Dragon Link nonsense. But because it's not doing Dragon Link nonsense, if you're able to simplify the game state down to just 1 card or 2 cards, they can't really do anything because, of course, the combo decks need multiple cards to function, and none of their cards are really starter cards. They're all extenders, so they don't really have an ability to play. They searched off, yeah, they blew through 2 Tracers, did Guard Dragon things, and it just didn't matter in the end. So up to 1 and 2 in the Crush Card Cup, you know, it's still not where I wanted to be. I really would like to be 2-1 or 3-0 at this point, but there isn't really anything you can do about it. But that's it for round number 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this. And again, I apologize. A lot of the next couple of matches are going to be very anticlimactic. They're just going to be the same old, you know. Hand trap my opponent, do Salamangreat plays, although hopefully the ones in the later rounds will be a little more interesting for you. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you with round number 4. Assuming I can get this.